My name is
Hans-Dieter Husch, and I'm the manager of a pizza factory at Dr. Oetker. I began working for the company as a young engineer, and that was my job for several years. I then progressed to the role of production manager, and for some years now I've been factory manager. What I particularly like about my job is working with so many people, the sophisticated technology that we use, and the new challenges we continually face. We produce around 1.5 million pizzas a day here in Wittlich. Any employee entering the production area must be wearing appropriate work clothing. We wear occupational footwear and outerwear, caps and hairnets are obligatory, and any employees with beards must cover them with beer snoods. Before entering the production area, employees must wash and disinfect their hands at specific hygiene barriers. We conduct tests on all raw materials entering the factory. We handle large quantities of incoming raw materials every day, several truckloads of cheese, for example. We conduct tests on the ingredients. For example, we conduct a sensory test on the cheese used in the Ristorante mozzarella. This involves the tester taking a small sample and tasting it to determine whether it meets the taste requirements. We also perform a pressure test on the cheese to verify that it can be processed properly later on during production. Finally, we take two further samples, a microbiological sample and one for chemical tests. We measure the diameter and thickness of the cherry tomato slices that we use for our Ristorante mozzarella product. If a raw material falls short of our quality criteria, it is not approved for use in production. Producing the dough is the first step in creating our pizzas. This involves mixing the ingredients, such as water, yeast, and flour, in a large dough kneader. The kneader is a large bowl with a kneading hook, similar to those you might use at home, but much larger. The freshly kneaded dough is then tipped into our dough ball machine, which forms the dough into balls. The dough balls are left briefly to rise, then they're shaped, heated, shaped again, and baked. The baking process lasts several minutes as the pizza base is passed through the oven, which is approximately 20 meters long. We take sustainability extremely seriously, and our production operation is no exception. We use the waste heat from the oven to heat our buildings. Following a brief cooling phase, the baked pizza bases enter the production stage, in which we top them with the remaining ingredients. The first step of the topping process is to inspect the quality of the bases. We check that they have the correct diameter, neither too large nor too small. Bases that are rejected for quality reasons are crushed and used in dough for a later batch. Sustainability is therefore also relevant in this part of the process. During the topping stage for the Ristorante mozzarella, the visual inspection is followed by the dispensing of the tomato sauce. We produce this sauce, which differs according to the pizza flavor, ourselves. Once the tomato sauce has been dispensed onto the pizza, it's followed by grated mozzarella cheese. Any grated cheese that does not land on the pizza is collected on a conveyor belt and returned to the process for reuse. Once the grated cheese has been dispensed onto the pizza, a machine adds round mozzarella slices. If a slice is missing, it's added manually by employees working behind the machine. After adding the mozzarella slices, We add blobs of pesto, followed by cherry tomato slices. Finally, herbs are scattered onto the pizza. It then passes to the deep freezer, which cools it to around minus 30 degrees Celsius. When the pizza leaves the freezer, it's wrapped in film, inspected once again visually, then placed in its cardboard box.
Tatsächlich werden die Pizzen, die wir herstellen, auch.
We also sample the produced pizzas ourselves. Several times a day, different groups, generally made up of employees from quality assurance and production, taste the products to determine whether they satisfy our high standards regarding taste and appearance.
Produkte im Geschmack, in der Optik unseren hohen Ansprüchen genügen.
After the pizzas have been produced, samples are taken from them and subjected to microbiological and chemical tests. Our factory here has its own state-of-the-art microbiological laboratory that enables us to satisfy our demanding hygiene and quality requirements to the full. The entire process, from dough making to packaging, takes about 2 hours. The cardboard boxes are grouped and palletized. The pallet is then transported to our fully automated high bay warehouse. We receive orders from our central logistics indicating which pallets are to be readied for dispatch to which customers. The relevant pallets are retrieved from the warehouse and loaded by forklift onto the trucks, which then transport them to our customers. Even though we have a wide range of pizza flavors, the Ristorante Salami will always be my favorite.